All right, so you ever notice how Family Guy can be like side-splittingly funny 1 minute,
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly they hit you with something that makes you go, hold on, did they really just go there?
Yeah, yeah. Pushing the boundaries.
That's kind of what today's deep dive is all about. We're looking at this Family Guy bit, right? Stewie and Monster Energy.
Interesting combo.
And we've got this whole fictional story, too, that basically takes this parody and, well, goes to a whole other level.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Taking it up a notch.
So buckle up, because we're about to unpack how this little animated scene about Stewie, peddling energy drinks actually says a lot about like real-world marketing
Yeah.
and just the whole power of parody.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, using a fictional story to analyze a parody, that's pretty unique source material.
Right.
But it gives us this cool way to explore how humor can, like, really be a tool for social commentary.
Totally. And we've got some awesome material to work with here. Excerpts from a document kind of breaks down this Family Guy scene, right? And then there's this whole fictional story
Uh-huh.
called, get this, The Energy That Consumed Stewie.
The energy that consumes Stewie.
Yeah, so just picture it, Stewie Griffin, right?
Yeah?
In all his, diabolical toddler glory.
Of course.
But he's the new spokesperson for Monster Energy.
I can see it now.
So what jumps out to you in this scene? What really captures like the essence of those like super over-the-top energy drink commercials?
Oh man, where do I even begin? It's everything. The fast cuts, all that extreme sports stuff they shove in your face, and of course you gotta have the slogans, right?
Oh, yeah.
Those slogans designed to make you feel like you can conquer the world. You're just like invincible.
It's brilliant, really, because it's so spot on. The
Yeah,
document even describes Stewie like dressed in that whole edgy, rebellious
I do.
style.
I know exactly what you mean.
Like, we see it a million times in those energy drink ads, and he's spouting off catchphrases like, unleash the beast.
Classic. It's like they have a checklist,
Right.
Gonna hit all the marks.
He's like, a mini-me version of all those super intense, hyper-masculine figures we're used to seeing.
Exactly. They all blend together after a while.
But here's the thing. The way Family Guy exaggerates everything, it actually kind of highlights the message behind those ads, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely, because it's not really about the drink itself, is it?
Right. It's about so much more.
It's all about tapping into those deep-seated desires we have, The desire for power, for rebellion, like you said, that feeling of invincibility.
Yeah.
They're selling you a feeling, an attitude. It goes way beyond just, oh, I need something to quench my thirst. And I think that's why this parody works so well. Even when it's over the top, we get it.
We're so saturated with it.
Exactly.
It's like those ads have become part of our cultural DNA or something.
Yeah, you can spot them a mile away.
But then what happens when that parody, like, takes a dark turn?
Okay, yeah. That's where things get really interesting.
That's where we get into the energy that consumes Stewie. It's kind of like the energy drink becomes like this symbol, right, for any kind of obsession.
Oh, totally.
I
Yeah.
think we crave it so much it takes over.
Yeah, you said it. And
Okay.
then that's what's so powerful about this story, right? It makes you think about your own life, Like, what are those things that we could easily become consumed by if we let ourselves go there? It's pretty deep when you think about it.
For sure.
And the way they use those horror elements to kind of like illustrate that point, it's super effective. Like
Like,
those distorted voices, the shadowy figures lurking around. It's like they're tapping into our deepest fears about losing control.
yeah, it's like those classic stories, right? You get what you wish for, but then it's like, whoa, this isn't what I had in mind at all.
Exactly. And that brings us to a whole other layer of this deep dive, the power of storytelling itself.
Ooh. Okay, I like where this
Yeah.
is going.
So we have the Family Guy scene, right? Which is hilarious, obviously. And then you have this fictional story that takes things in a completely different direction.
Way darker.
Yeah. But both of them, they're using narrative to get a reaction out of you. The parody makes you laugh, but the fictional story, it sticks with you a little bit more,
It kind of gets under your skin.
Yeah, exactly. It's unsettling.
It's like Family Guy is holding up this funhouse mirror to those energy drink ads, right? Exaggerating all the tactics for laughs. But then this story, the energy that consumes Stewie, it's like they take that distorted image.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, but what if we actually stepped through the looking glass? What would that world look like?
It's such a cool contrast. And they both show how effective humor can be, Whether it's satire or just dark comedy, it makes us think about these things we just accept.
For sure. And it's not just energy drinks, right?
Yeah.
Like we're bombarded with messages constantly.
Oh, absolutely. Every day it's like, buy this, want this is what will make you happy.
Yeah, like how do we even navigate all of that?
That's the million-dollar question, right? I think it's about developing that awareness, like being able to spot the tactics, even when they're subtle.
Like we need our own internal BS detector or something.
Exactly. And it's not about being cynical, but just being aware, you know? You can still enjoy a funny commercial, but you see it for what it is.
So really, this whole deep dive, it's like a crash course in media literacy.
100%. By breaking down how they use humor, horror, all of that to make a point, we start to see how storytelling shapes our thoughts and even our actions, you know?
Totally makes you think about those messages and how they tap into our insecurities, our desires, even our fears, just to sell us something.
Oh, yeah. And it's not always a physical product, right? It could be an idea, a worldview, anything.
It's like there's always something being sold, right?
Always.
So when our listeners finish this deep dive, what's the one thing you hope they take away from it?
Think for yourself. Don't just accept everything you see and hear. Question it. Analyze it. Who's behind the message? What's their agenda?
Be your own BS detector.
Exactly. And don't forget about those beasts within, those cravings that can lead us down some interesting paths.
Oh, for sure. It's like by understanding how all this works, the marketing, the storytelling, we can actually take back some of that power.
Yes. We make conscious choices about what we consume, what we let influence us. That's the key.
I love that. So are we ready to wrap this up?
Let's do it.
It's like instead of being, manipulated by these slick ads or whatever, we can actually be in on it.
Exactly.
We choose what we connect with, what feels authentic.
I love that. Well said. And you know what? There's kind of fun side to it, too.
Oh, totally.
Like, once you start recognizing those marketing tricks, seeing through the BS, it's kind of satisfying, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's like we're in on the joke.
Right.
We get it, and it makes the whole thing more entertaining.
Exactly. So next time you see one of those Stewie Griffin energy drink ads, remember this conversation.
Definitely.
Have a laugh, but then take a second. Think about that hidden message, you know? What are they really trying to sell you? What's your own beast within saying?
Ooh, that's good. I like that. So I think we've given everyone a lot to think about today.
For sure.
We've gone from like Family Guy to a whole energy drink cult to the power of media.
It's been a wild ride.
Right. All in a day's work, I guess.
Pretty much. It's been great, though. Really interesting to dive into all of this.
Me too. All right. So to everyone listening, stay sharp. Keep those BS detectors on high alert.
Yes.
And remember, sometimes the most entertaining stuff is also the stuff that makes us really stop and think.
Well said.
Until next time, happy diving, everyone.